name is Ezinne Kufre-Ekanem, also known as the UPYOU woman. I am that woman that is so passionate about the 21st century woman that I have invested my time and my resources and built up a thing called the UPYOU movement. And UPYOU is all about you finding yourself, finding your purpose, building you up and becoming the best you that you can be. And that's all that we do. We'll help you find yourself, we'll help you find your purpose, we'll help you become the best version of you that you can be on your journey onwards, upwards, and forwards. We do this by speaking with women like you, finding your lived experiences, curating your lived experiences, creating your values and everything about you, and then selling it to everyone so that we can see what aligns best with us, take the best practices, learn, unlearn, relearn as we journey onwards, upwards, and forwards. It's all about you. I am all about you. And as I do this, I also become, because I learn and I go up as well. So, to you listening to me, that's who I am. UPYOU.
UPYOU empowers you with hope and inspiration.
The UPYOU Woman Conference is a transformative event aimed at the woman of today, the 21st century woman, at making her understand that there is more to her beyond work and play, that there is you, the woman, the core. And it was an intervention that was needed at the point so that the woman can become aware of who she is, the potential that she carries on the inside, heal on the inside so that she'll be able to move further from the outside. We found over the years of speaking to women every day that most women carry traumas, unhealed traumas, and most women do not reconcile their inside, their inward being with the outward persona. Because we all have personas, we have masks that we put on every day, and then some of us have worn our masks so much that we no longer even know our real selves. So the UPYOU Women Conference was to bring us face to face with ourselves so that we can get to know ourselves all over again, like when we were children, acquaint ourselves with who we are, who our real selves are, who the authentic woman is, and then begin to heal from the inside, to build the bridges on the inside so that the gaps that we see on the outside can be bridged effectively. So that was what brought us together to have that conference. And it was a very, very stellar conference. It was magnificent. The energy was big. The women turned up. The speakers were, wow, excellent. It was, if I wasn't even the convener, I'll be very proud to have been a part of the conference. Yeah.
Finding purpose by juggling life. UPYOU empower.
For a maiden, I'll give it a 10 over 10. And that won't be modest. It was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful.
Stand up, speak up, sign up, shake up, soak up, set up, scale up. UPYOU with Ezinne.
First of all, let me say that yes, it will be an annual event. It comes up annually. It's actually tagged also as our August meeting, because in this part of the world where we come from, women normally troop to their villages, their native homes for what we know as the August conference. And so for those of us who do not go home for these conferences, we are saying come to the UPYOU Women Conference, and then we will have our own August conference. So it's going to be happening annually. We are going to be having the UPYOU Women Conference every August. Absolutely. The change of ideology, we hope and we plan that it will be for a long time, because we are going to keep reinforcing it with every summit that we hold. We believe that if women are given the knowledge they require about the various roles that they play, that they will now be better positioned to take informed decisions about their lives and their roles. Because in a given lifetime, a woman plays several roles: a girl, a sister, a mother, a friend, a wife, a career person, and several others. And even inside these main roles, she has sub roles, because she could be a wife and a caretaker, a wife and a teacher, and all sorts. So we are going to keep giving out information and sharing lived experiences of other women at our conferences so that you can align with the one that is best practice for you and the one that helps you fulfill your purpose by being the best you can at all the roles you find yourself playing at time. So it definitely, yes, it's going to be a lasting ideology, yes, one that we're going to run with for a long time.
Finding purpose by juggling life. UPYOU empowers you.
Well, the truth is, participation of women in governance has been progressive. It gets better with each election cycle here. It gets better. Women are actually putting out themselves there more and more now. I will give an example with my country, Nigeria. It's getting even better every time, and we're finding people, women, coming out for elective positions and getting elected. The thing is, with politics is, it's going to be gradual, but so long as we keep it steady, we will eventually get to where we are going to. The truth is, the ceiling has been broken because some women have already gotten there before us. So I'm definitely one of the people looking forward to the first female president in Nigeria. It happened in other climes, and I believe it will happen in Nigeria very, very soon. Is government doing enough? The answer is, will always be no, because we want more. We will always want more. However, we are also government, you and I. And so we have to rise up and then help government in doing more. So I advocate for more women to come out and put themselves out there for elective offices and also for appointive offices in government, so that we can put our knowledge together and then turn our societies around. That is really one of the core things the woman should be doing, helping to spearhead what happens in the society, because you see, the family is a nucleus of the society, and then if we shape our families right, like we're doing, then we should be able to also help and shape the society right, so that the society does not in turn spoil the job that we're doing with our families. Women in today's Africa have really shown some remarkable resilience, and they've made very, very, very giant progress as regards politics, their workplace, and their home. In fact, I normally would say that this is a good time for a woman to be alive all over the world, especially in Africa, because we are attempting things that if our foremothers are alive today, they will have their mouths open and go like, wow, in our time, we couldn't even dream of that. However, there are some challenges. Expectedly, the world is patriarchal, and women are trying to overcome all of that. So these challenges of inequality, where a woman and a man are doing the same kind of job, are putting the same kind of energy onto what they're doing, but the man gets paid better than the woman. All of that needs to be addressed, and those gaps needs to be closed up. Otherwise, the African woman is really striving and making her presence felt in the global world stage. I think that such phrases like breaking the glass ceiling should go out of fashion, because as far as I'm concerned, the glass ceiling has been broken by the likes of Okonjo-Iweala, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. They've broken the ceiling, so why am I still breaking it? It's already broken. So I think every African woman should actually unclip their wings and fly, because people have gone ahead of us who have gone through that ceiling. So there's a hole there. Get into the hole and then just take off and keep flying. And I also think that things like imposter syndrome, we should just do away with things like that. Because frankly, the males do not think about things like imposter syndrome. You find a male that is not even half as brilliant as the female, and that one is going up the ladder and the female is just there second guessing themselves. There's this saying that I like: you're there thinking that you're not all of this, meanwhile, the whole world is in awe of you. So I just want the women to just, find courage, build more confidence in themselves, and agree and accept on the inside that they can and they are enough. Because in truth, we are enough. We're doing enough. We just need to own the narrative and shape the narrative. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world done by women that we are not even aware that women did. I am very sure that if you who are watching me right now will sit down and count your blessings in your life and the things that you've achieved, you will be amazed that you did all that. But because you are not owning the narrative, you know the way it is? We focus on what we don't have instead of focusing on what we have. But I think that the women are enough. I think that the women are doing enough. And I think that what we need to do now is to manage the narrative and tell our stories, our she stories, our her stories, so that, posterity will know that the women are doing all of this. Women, what we need to develop is confidence. We already have the grit, we have the resilience, we have the work culture. What we need to develop is confidence. And then the bigger question, how do we teach it to the next generation so they are confident in being a woman, confident in who they are, so that we don't, and they don't aspire to be male. It almost sounds like, oh, you have to be male to succeed. No, you can succeed as a female. So what we need to cultivate in our self-care and in our me-time is confidence, self-confidence. And then when we get it, we'll teach it to the next generation.
Women are refreshing wells of courage and warmth. With natural.
Yes, you're right. Moral decadence is on the rise. It's permeating every facet of living. And frankly, mothers are gatekeepers of morality. From the time we birth children and raise them, we're the ones that need to set examples and watch as gatekeepers for what happens. And that's why we're advocating at UPYOU with Ezinne, for instance, that women need to rise up and step into their role as gatekeepers and be sure. It starts from as little as, how do your kids speak? How respectful are they? Do they greet their elders? Do they pull their weight in the house? Do they do their own bit of house chores? Do they, for instance, dress decently? Or is your child almost half naked in front of you? Does she speak foul language in front of you and you keep quiet in the face or in the name of being woke? What exactly are you doing? And then we have to really go back to our Africanness, the way that everybody is involved in training up a child. It's not like what we're doing now, where you have your child, you train your child, you lock up your child, and then you don't take inputs from anybody on what is right or wrong. Because the truth is, you're putting that child or you're training that child to go into the society. And then the society will now have to have a say on whether your child has been well brought up or not. So we have to go back to being Africans, where we're collectively, where it takes a village to raise a child. And then we have to pull back. Then social media is not helping issues, such that is now a global village. I mean, someone can stay here and get on their phone, and on this phone, the person is in China, and then looking at what happens in China, or the person is in America, looking at what happens in America. And the fact is that when it comes to culture, what is culturally right in China might be culturally wrong in Nigeria. So we need to be on top of our game as mothers and as gatekeepers, and ensure that we train our children right, because if we train them right, they will not deviate from the right path. We need to become more involved in their lives. We need to be present. We don't have to be absentee mothers. Sometimes we chase a lot of things and then we forget what is core. Like I said earlier, for every woman, first things have to be first. If you have children, if you have a family, then first thing is your family. Because if you fail at raising a wholesome family and you achieve every other thing in life, you still failed at what is important. So we need to be at home, to be involved, to be present. It's not the quantity, but the quality. So if you need to work, work. But when it's time to be at home, oversee that homework, oversee that television program they're watching, oversee what they do on their phones, especially if they're minors, and then spend some time with your family, bond. And why is it called family? It's because you're supposed to be a bonded unit. So you bond, you play games, you get to know the people that you're raising. Unlike before, when children didn't have opinions, those things have changed. The children have a lot of opinions, so you need to hear them. You need to hear the way your children's mind are growing and evolving, so that you too can grow yourself and evolve at the same time with them. As mothers, we need to be careful what we say to our children, because the children of today are going to become the adults of tomorrow. And guess what? It is what they hear that they will follow. It is what we do that they see, that they will follow. So as gatekeepers of morality, we have to first decide that we will speak right and we will act right. And then the society will get the message. So yes, mothers do have a very major role to play in ensuring that morality does not go right out of the door.
Choose out the best of you.
I come from the school of thought that says that first things ought to be first and remain first. And that means that our main roles have to be our main roles. If you're a woman, you're a co-creator, you're a nurturer. And so your main roles remain your home first, before your career and every other thing that you're doing. It's important that we teach this so that people do not become misaligned with what they're supposed to be doing in life. Women are doing quite a lot these days, a lot. And it's more like a juggling and balancing act, just like the magician, right? You know, when they juggle the balls, they juggle it and you think it's going to fall, but somehow they just catch it. And that's exactly what women are doing. So we need to continue doing the balancing of acts. We need to ensure that we're not lopsided, that no one aspect of our life takes a bigger chunk of our time than the other. So we have to balance it. Then we have to prioritize self-care. We have to look after ourselves. You have to take time to actually grow you so that you're not growing every other thing and then you are not growing. Because the truth is that if you're growing every other thing, you're growing your career, you're growing your networking skills, your public image, you're growing every aspect of you, but you're not growing yourself. The fact is that all those things that you're growing will now fall on top of you and you will now do what? You crash. So we need to find the time to grow ourselves, set realistic goals. I know that we want to be all of this and that, but we don't have to be all of this and that in one fell swoop. It's a process. There's a process. So you have to, pace yourself and walk your seasons. Somebody might just look at me now and say, oh, Ezinne is doing this and this and that. I want to also do this and that and that. You forget that Ezinne has no child at home. Everybody around me that is a minor has flown the nest. So I do not have responsibilities to any young kids directly anymore. So I can afford to take longer hours, then do the trips out of the country, then go to the summits here and there. But if you have young ones, then maybe you should be grateful that there is something called virtual accessibility right now, and then use the virtual access to get yourself into these rooms that you also want to be in, spending a time when you can be like Ezinne and then you can physically go and attend all of these things. So it's important that in anything that we're chasing as women, that we know our time and our season, and we know just when to key in and then take what we want to take and then do what we want to do. Also, in the course of all of this that we're doing, it's important that we as women build support systems that will support us for when we have to do those inevitable things that we have to do in the pursuit of our purposes. And so this support system starts with who we marry, because we know that your choice of a life partner determines just how far you go in life. So you have to ensure that we have a support system in our spouses, support system around our homes, people that can help us do stuff at short notice, good friends that we can also call, so that nothing is missing because we are not there. For young people who are looking for mentors, I will say that's fine, it's a good thing to do. But in looking for a mentor, we live in times where everybody is knowledgeable in one thing or the other, or so they claim. We do not have lived experiences as much as we want to think, and people are not willing to share their lived experiences as much as we would want them to. So when you're looking for a mentor for yourself, be very, very clear on why exactly you want a mentor, the kind of mentor you want, and what you want to get out of that mentoring relationship. Nobody likes time wasters, so please do not waste your mentor's time. Always come to any mentoring session prepared. Arm yourself with the questions that you want to ask or the areas you need help for. Mentoring is not a one-size-fits-all. I can't be your mentor in every aspect of your life. Before you choose me, for instance, as a mentor, be sure that that thing that you saw in me that is making you choose me is where you want me to mentor you. You can't choose me, for instance, to be your mentor in public speaking, and then we're talking about finances, because I might be good in public speaking, but I may not be very good with the way I deal with money. We all need mentors in every areas of our life. In fact, I advise that we get mentors for different areas of our life. Have a spiritual mentor, have a financial mentor, have an emotional mentor, have a mentor in every area of your life that is important to you. Have a career mentor, and then have goals for all these areas, and then make your goals measurable, and then make them achievable, and then go sit with your mentor. Your mentor is not supposed to do it for you. Your mentor is supposed to guide you and then throw light on the way so that you can travel faster than they did. So it's important that you know what you want and go for exactly what fits you, yeah? So that you don't waste your time, and then you don't also waste your mentor's time. I must tell young people that your dreams are valid. I must tell you that you should go all out and seek mentors, both male and female. I must also end by saying to you that with determination and hard work, you will achieve everything that you want to achieve. So go for it. In the next 5 years, the UPYOU Women Summit will be a global force. It will be a global force. It will be one that you remember that you watched this interview when I said it, you know, expanding our reach, touching lives, and then taking everything that has to do with women very seriously, helping us to become wholesome. Please note my words: wholesome, total, full women, as in the way we're meant to be. Women who nurture, who vet, who grow humans, ideas. You know, there's a popular saying that I love very much. It says everything is made by a man, made by a man, made by a man. Man-made, man-made, man-made. What do women make? We make the men. And so we run the world. And so in the next 5 years, I see UPYOU as that force that can't be ignored when it comes to issues and affairs of women globally. Now is the time to identify. Communication is said to have been effective when you said something to someone and the person has received it and understands it and can act on it. For you to be able to do all the things you want to do as a woman, you must have clear lines of communication with your immediate circle. Your family needs to understand why you're doing what you're doing. They need to support you to do what you're doing. Your friends need to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. They need to support you to do it so that it will be easy for you. You know, the way I say is, don't assume that they know. Tell them why you're doing what you're doing. Because sometimes what causes problems is when they think you're doing this thing just for your own personal aggrandizement. But if they understand that you're doing this for a collective, then the collective supports you. So I think if we did all this, it would be easier for the woman to be able to go ahead and do what she needs to do and do it effectively. To identify, choose out the best of you. Oh well, pretty simple. It's hard to believe, but I'm the most laid back of my family members. Everybody is more vivacious than I am. And so what's my idea, or what do we do? Usually it will be dinner. My language is food, exotic food. So it will be dinner, it will be a movie, it will be us reclining and reading a book. And then, yes, we get into gists. We love to gist about this and that. And yeah, that's what you catch my family and myself doing when we're having a downtime. We'll try to bond and then try to bridge the gaps and understand ourselves, because, you know, every day we grow. And then when we grow into something better, something positive. And so we kind of rehash all of that, and then we go back to being family again, and we hit the road and do it all over again. Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, New Africa Magazine, for the opportunity to interview for your magazine. It's a privilege, and thank you for the award earlier on in the year. It's a privilege when, you know, when someone's work gets noticed and someone gets recognized for their job, is actually a privilege and it's rewarding. So thank you very much. And then to every woman out there, keep at the grind. It doesn't get easy, so don't slow down. Just keep at it. Keep your vision in front of you and run with it every day. Know what the difference is? the person who will show up in season and out of season. It takes discipline, it takes commitment, it takes foresightedness, it takes a hunger for you to show up every day for what you believe in. So what is that thing you believe in? What is that thing that drives you? What is your why for what you do? May it be compelling enough to make you wake up every morning and run for it. Thank you. Until I encounter you somewhere else, anytime soon, it's UPYOU.
Finding self, finding purpose.